Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to be telling you the truth about hydrogen cars. Now to begin with, you have to realize that there's two types of hydrogen cars. There are cars that burn hydrogen in an engine to propel the car along, and there are fuel cell cars that use the hydrogen in a fuel cell to generate electricity, and the cars are actually electric cars with electric motors. Now, the United States Air Force is presently experimenting with both types of vehicles in Hawaii. They're creating their hydrogen through electrolysis. They can make it out of seawater. It's no big deal. It just takes energy. And realize that the first type of hydrogen car, a car that just burns hydrogen gas, is no different than many cars people have today, where they run off of natural gas, compressed natural gas. You see a lot of city buses nowadays in big cities that say running on clean natural gas. You can actually run any internal combustion engine off of hydrogen if you really want to. It's nothing to convert this old silica to run on natural gas or on hydrogen. And it's actually a lot more efficient than using gasoline. The gasoline has to be sprayed to make a vapor to burn. The gas is already a gas. You just add it in and ignite it and away you go. The only problem with converting stuff to run on gas, either natural gas or hydrogen, is you have to store the stuff, and you need very good, safe containers. Now they're using a lot of carbon fiber reinforced tanks on the experimental ones. That's the big hassle, is you got to store the gas somewhere, and the range is a lot less than a tank of gasoline, because hey, you'd have to have a gigantic storage tank to go 400 miles, where a small gas tank and a small engine can easily do that. Now, if you did turn your car into a hydrogen burning car, it actually would pollute less, it would last longer, it runs more efficiently, but there is a hassle of getting the hydrogen gas, of course. Because as you can see on the dots of this map, there are only 274 hydrogen refueling stations in the entire planet. So in this respect, you'd be better converting your car to natural gas. Quite a few people all over the world have. There's some areas where natural gas is really cheap, so a lot of people converted their vehicles to run on natural gas. Turning it to hydrogen would be kind of foolish, because you've got no place to buy the hydrogen from. Now, the second type of hydrogen cars are what people normally think about. It's the hydrogen fuel cell cars. They take the hydrogen gas, they run it through a fuel cell, which turns it into electricity, which runs the electric motor on an electric car. So these are just electric cars that don't need batteries to run them. They use a fuel cell. There's actually one out now. Here it is. It's called the Toyota Mirai. And you can actually lease one today, at least in California. There are a few hydrogen stations there, and you fill it up pretty much like you do a regular car. It just takes a few minutes. And that fast refueling is one reason that I think if electric cars ever become the norm, it'll be a long way in the future, but if they do, the hydrogen fuel cell cars are actually a much better idea than a car that has a giant battery to run an electric motor. And that's for two main reasons. One, there's only a limited amount of lithium in the world. There's probably not enough to make the giant lithium batteries for hundreds of millions of people to drive electric cars. And it's always going to take a reasonably long amount of time to recharge an electric car battery. The faster they go, the bigger they are, the longer it takes to recharge the batteries. If you've got just a normal 112 plug in your house and you got a big Tesla, it can take 3.5 days to charge that battery up. And even at one of those Tesla superstations, if you're almost out of electricity, it's going to take you almost an hour to charge it back up. And if there's hundreds of people waiting to charge up their battery, hey, that's going to take hours and hours and hours. People won't stand for that. Now, the hydrogen fuel cell car, of course, is a non-polluting vehicle. The hydrogen goes in, out comes water vapor and electricity. So they don't pollute the air at all. They're the cleanest vehicle you can get your hands on. But of course, there's the problem of getting the hydrogen. It would take a massive paradigm shift in our society to move from an oil-based economy to one that's based on creating hydrogen. Now, it's not that there isn't any hydrogen. The ocean's full of H2O, you know? It can be turned from electrolysis into hydrogen and oxygen, and all the gases can be used in commercial processes or oxygen for medical processes. It just takes energy. So if they wanted to make giant solar plants that turned water into hydrogen and oxygen, it'd be kind of stupid to use coal or gas or oil to burn that to create it, it'd be kind of counterproductive. But if you really wanted to change the paradigm of society to non-polluting, it can be done with enough money. And who knows what the future will bring. But really, if they do want to create the hydrogen, we can run the cars that you already have on it. It's nothing to convert it. And then as time goes on and these things get old and all fall apart, they could switch to fuel cell cars that would run on the same hydrogen. And like anything else, it's just a matter of production scale. If they started mass producing fuel cells that run on hydrogen and create electricity, hey, they would get cheaper and cheaper. Where with the all-electric car that has a lithium battery, since there's a limited supply of lithium on the planet, hey, it might not even be feasible that there would be enough lithium to make enough batteries to run the things. But of course, everything in our modern society is capitalist, and since the price of gas is really low now, Toyota seemed to have come out with their hydrogen fuel cell car at the wrong time economically, because gas is cheap, so people don't really care. But as oil supplies dwindle down, if they want to make hydrogen from seawater and run cars that use hydrogen fuel cells, hey, that sounds like the better idea to me than cars with lithium batteries. Because, as I said, the fuel cells don't pollute at all. They just put out water vapor. And since you don't need the lithium, there's no problem about not having the materials to build the stuff with. So now you know a little bit more about hydrogen cars and what's actually going on out there. Who knows what the future's going to bring, but hey, my bet would be on fuel cell cars instead. Hey, the oil companies, yeah, they'd probably fight tooth and nail, but really, they're businessmen, and if they see finally the oil's running out or the earth is heating up too much, they can switch all their money into doing fuel cells instead. Hey, look at World War II in Detroit. They went from making cars to making tanks and fighter planes just like that, so they could give up with their oil refineries and start making hydrogen instead if they really wanted to. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.